Hi, I'm Jeremiah. Welcome to Up at Night. This podcast is all about learning from thought leaders, academics, and professionals based on one fundamental question. What keeps you up at night? Hey everyone, welcome to Up at Night. Today, I am thrilled to be joined by Mia Girard. Mia is not only an amazing businesswoman, she's also a beauty advocate. She's a speaker. I've had the chance to hear her speak at a couple of events. She's also the host of a great podcast, which I really love, Behind the Social Label. And now on top of that, you also have a radio show starting in June from 1 until 3 p.m. every Wednesday, I think. And that's going to be on KVL FM, if I'm correct. Right, Mia?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, first of all. I'm very great. I don't give so much interviews, so I like to be very selective of who I'm going to chat with, but I'm very happy that you invite me. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much for joining me today. So Mia, there's just so much to talk about, but I would like to start with where it all started, because you've been through a lot personally.
Yes.
That made you such a strong woman. You've embraced also beauty, and you're a great ambassador, in my opinion, to women who often feel the judgment of others, where you just build such a strong opinion on that. So I want to touch base upon all that because you're such a great source of inspiration. But who was Mia when she was younger?
Well, unfortunately, me, I was really silent until I was 14 years old. I was living in a really beautiful castle with gold. And we thought that everything was fine. But sometimes behind the wall, it's not as beautiful as it is. So I was always living in a very luxury from the outside wall and the world. But inside, it was a very toxic environment. It was really a lot of abuse sexually. So it was very a time where you disconnect with yourself and you learn to become in survival mode instead of living your childhood or living your life. And I learned very quickly that I have to make it to be strong enough to be out there because at the age of 14, I was asked to leave the house, not by choice, but by obligation because the sexually abuse was getting too loud. And I think my mother at that point was smart enough to knew that a danger was coming and I was getting older. So I was asked to leave. So I did leave. I lived with a great old lady by the water. She was a painter and she was like 80 years old. So they give me a little room in the house. She was alone, no children. It's very vaguely, but from there I learned so much that I watch her paint and everything. And I used to go to work from Thursday, Friday, Saturday because Sunday the store was not open. This was the whole time. I'm 56 years old today. So there was no open store on Sunday. And I learned to work at Patorama. Patorama is like the little blue jean today or the haut coton. So what they teach you, it's discipline. You have to make sure the jeans are all by order and look great and was also the ceiling and you have to take stairs to go and get and you have to learn to sell if you want to make your money because you were paying $4 an hour and then they were giving you commission on each sale. So I learned to sell very quick. If I wanted to eat and kill the meat, you know what I mean? So I had to be. So I had to be very focused. And I'm very fortunate that I was never a girl who drank or take drugs. It would have been so easy for me and for anybody who goes through this to really lose the way and get in a situation that I don't wish that nobody have to live, but sometimes I have no choice. And I worked and worked and worked. But at one point, I felt like the salary was too small. I wanted it more. So they named me supervisor. But I didn't know how to drive. I didn't have a car. So I was smart enough and quick, streets smart.
Street smart, yeah.
You become very okay, what's next? Because you don't want to lose an opportunity. And I know in Quebec or in Canada, it's very bad when you say the word opportunist or
Yes.
opportunity. For me, it's not, because when I see and I see that I have an opening, I will go and jump on it. It's very American. So I work and I met someone who was working night shifts, so he teach me how to work, take his car in the day so I could go to work the time he was sleeping. It was perfect combination. I had a car and I managed store, and then I went to Toronto, and because it was not big enough. So I always look up to have bigger, but also I think it was to run away and don't live, because it's funny. You know, when you're not comfortable in a place, the only thing you want to do is move,
Yeah.
change city. But what I understand now today, it's even if you move, it's still in your head. So stop moving. You know, as I say, stay still and stay focused,
Yeah.
because if you move too much, you will never achieve. So you're always chasing. I don't know if I'm today more quiet. I don't think so. It's funny because since last night I've been thinking about what I will write next, because I like to write a lot of things, and sometimes people silence you, but it's because you're in fear.
Yeah.
So silence will give you fear. Um, but what about if you talk? Nothing will happen. I mean, you have ways to say, you have way to deliver a message. And I think all my life I was like always delivering message, but just part of it. And lately, came back, but lately for me, it's lately. On the 1st of June, actually, 2015, I made the decision to leave New York. I moved all the way to New York, California, Ibiza,
Yeah. You did
Amsterdam.
many places. Yeah.
I live everywhere in the world and stable, like with marriage and very stable, and but always worked. I never wanted a man to take care of me. I was
Yeah.
not financially, I always been very independent. So this will cause me a lot of problem, because younger, I was always single.
Yeah.
Because for me, you cannot buy me.
It makes total sense based on at an early age what you went through and what you had to do to, like you said, to go in that survival mode.
Yeah.
One thing I want to touch upon, I want to take upon that before continuing is, how do you think that that woman, that 80-year-old woman, and that first boss and that first job, and basically your entourage had an impact on making the right decision, like you said, rather than going, turning to alcohol or drugs? How much did that had an impact, you think?
Well, first of all, I had no entourage because I was a very lonely person, very quiet. It's funny to say because I'm very verbal, as you know. I was very verbal, always fell at the right place with the right group. I always knew where to go to have my next meal ticket. You know, I was not eating 3 times a day, but I always knew, okay, if I do one step, first of all, I didn't speak English at all.
Yeah.
I moved to Toronto. Then from Toronto, I
Wow.
went to New York. Like New York, if you make it there, you make it anywhere. And my dream was to be beautiful. I thought, but that was from the past trauma. That if I'm beautiful, people would take me seriously and listen to what I have to say. So it's a very funny way. And it was so expensive that I said, well, I'm gonna go to school and learn about medical where it's beauty
Yeah.
and make my own business. I don't have to pay for it. That's how it's became such an 32 years. I stopped now this year. Like last year, I stopped completely after 30 years, 32 almost. I think that I did the round. And you know what I figure out? That no matter how much a woman or a man want to be beautiful, they come to do service with you or with my team, and they never satisfy because it's about insight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to touch upon that because you've been obsessed with beauty for the vast majority of your life. And I would like to know how your definition of beauty changed over time. And like you mentioned, how I would say appearance can boost the ego or actually do not boost the ego, and then you're forever in that circle of trying to get something more because you're seeking. How did that affect you from a career standpoint, and how your definition of beauty evolved as well throughout the year?
I think as a pressure because I represent, well, as I know you're a business person, that people will come and buy your product because you represent the product. You know what I mean? You are the face of the product. You don't use other people. I saw you often talking about your business. So, I mean, some people will like the way I look. Some people that I'm too much, but some people will say, I don't want that extreme, but can I have something like you? I mean, I'm 56 years old. I want to be a little bit freshen up, but not, and I always say, not as much as me. I understand, but that is my choice. You don't have to look like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I understood that it was a lot of pressure because everything I do big. So big team, and my business was on Mercedes-Benz in Canada. I don't know if you knew that. We transformed Mercedes-Benz and we were VIP when I returned to Canada in 2015. So we will come to you. And it was no logo on the truck, nothing. It was a real clinic inside. So
Wow.
we disturbed everybody in the business world because who will walk around with trucks and drivers and nurse and doctors in the truck and give you Botox? It was like, where does this come from? And in Quebec, we have to be careful because
Yes.
the way they see you, it's like, where's she coming from? But I was coming from New York. So in New York, my clinic was 22 people, and it was like the first firehouse on Lexington Avenue on the west side. So I always lived large, and the beauty was always pressure because I wanted to give you and make you feel like you were beautiful. But after a while, I realized that people are never happy at the end. I can find them beautiful, but they don't understand. And that I think I understood by accepting who I was. And that's why I didn't fit it. After like the 2 last year, I didn't fit in the field anymore because whatever happened in my head, like I decided I cannot give more. And it was too much pressure. So I didn't want to be in that game anymore. And for real, I think we're at a place right now in Canada where um, medical aesthetic,
Yeah.
it's sting. We cannot go higher. We're stuck.
That's one thing I wanted to ask you, Mia, because um, very there's a small amount of people who a lot of people think about building a business. A very small percentage execute upon that. And an even smaller percentage will do that in New York or even the United States. Can you please tell me a little bit about that experience? How different it is to have a business and run a business in such a competitive city versus Canada?
Well, we don't see competition when you decide to open in New York. First of all, you competition mentally ill. You don't. If you choose to open on 60th in Lexington, literally on Lexington, right beside Bloomingdale in Manhattan, Upper East Side, where the rich and the richest are, not only you buy the building was the first fire station with two partners who were from Israel, who knew nothing in beauty. And they were just like really big player in the bank. And
Mm.
they just saw me and they knew that I had it. So they say, if we give you carte blanche, I don't know how you say that in English, but I think
Yep.
you can say it too.
Yeah.
You have 3 months to do whatever you want with this building is yours. And we're going to give you share as partner and you're going to control the whole thing. I thought, oh, okay. So they left for Italy and I transformed the whole building as a clinic, the first firehouse. Today I still own it. Everything came to me. They went and lived in Italy because they old and they left me with everything because I work hard. But my imagination became a fairy tale almost because I couldn't believe, oh my God. So I put everything white. And the 22 people were wearing this color, pink, and the shoes too. I mean, it was really nice. When I came back here, it was by choice. On the 1st of June 2015, I decided to take a plane and come back and stop New York for family reason. And I came to the airport and it was 15 years I didn't come to Montreal. The shock,
Oh, yeah.
it was that time where the policemen were wearing like the camouflage vests. And I was like, what is this? Like they judge a lot in Quebec. And New York, you have a mortgage of $300,000 a month before you even pay anybody or eat. You don't have time for competition. It's you don't even look across the street because New York is very small. So if you offer Botox to someone, the guy across the street can do it, but you're not busy looking at how many units. You don't have time. You have to work and you
You're
got to
just so
be on the
busy.
ball and you're super busy and you have to stay focused. You don't have time to, and it's not a place to have a family. It's not a place to have a boyfriend and girlfriend and marriage. You won't say that. If you do see it, it's because she or he's been in the family and she's home with the nanny and they have life very structured.
Yeah.
And I think I was comfortable with that because I didn't have to go in my emotion. It was all fake. It was
You went
amazing.
in the rat race because it felt comfortable because you don't have to think about anything. But that's what a lot of people tell me. New York is the ultimate rat race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like having a plane saying, okay, Mia, somebody send you a plane. They cannot come to the appointment, but could you go to Istanbul to meet their whole family? They will bring you back tomorrow. That is the kind of money that I was seeing every day.
That's crazy.
And they will take care of you like in the plane so your hand doesn't hurt because they wait for you to come back. They will bring you to California. One time I went to California and I was like asked to come. They send the plane. It's a woman, by the way. I get there. She didn't feel like it. She wanted to watch TV with me for Netflix for 3 days. And she's paying. And a mansion. And I'm like, but for somebody who worked like me, this is quiet time. So it's boring.
Yes.
I was that person. Oh my God, what I'm doing there. Like, even if the salary was big, I was not able to enjoy. For me, New York was the race, the adrenaline, the let's make it. So when I came back to Montreal, as I say, it was chores. I didn't think I was going to make it through. I thought I was coming for 6 months to take care of some family affair. And surprise, surprise, I never went back. It's going to be 10 years on the 1st of June in a couple days, 2025. I didn't think I was going to stay that long. It's very difficult sometimes because I feel that here, not that I don't like it. Listen, I could go
Yeah.
back, I could go
Yeah.
anywhere in the world right now. I just feel that I think they're slow and they're very careful and they're judgmental.
Yeah. Why do you think, and I agree with you, the pace is very different compared to the US in general. And I don't even speak New York, which is even faster. But the pace is different. And it's true that there is this thing here where you don't want to show that you're successful because of judgment.
Yes, but in New York also, when you're very wealthy in New York, first of all, you take the subway because it goes faster. Funny
Yeah,
to say.
that's true.
Everybody
Walking on
saying
subway, that's true. Yes.
taxi. It's like, you don't take a taxi?
No. No.
What are you talking about? No, I'm
No.
taking the subway. I got to get there. Like the
Yeah.
judge is sitting right beside me or a lawyer in the subway. You think they
Yes.
have no money. We really go on subway. I think that they don't judge in New York or California. California is more slow. I didn't really like California. That's why I moved to New York. It was too slow. It's like more coffee, chit chat. It's let's see who I know where I can get to the next level.
Yeah.
Instead of New York, it's I gotta make it. If not,
You got to grind. Yeah.
you gotta grind. I like the grinding thing, so I don't have to think about myself. And I think that the difference between the both place is They always have a plan there. You cannot fail. Failure is not an option in New
You're
York.
right. Yeah.
If you fail, you got to leave.
Yeah.
You will lose everything instantly.
Someone
And
else is behind your back breathing and waiting to take your spot.
and I was not born there. So it was like, your green card and not American, but you always have the chance. Like now, look what's going on. He wants to throw, Trump wants to
Yeah.
throw everybody out that you were not born there. I'm like, a lot of people, New York, not too many people were born in New York and
Yorkers?
raised
No.
and live. And they're really Jewish. And I love this community. I'm Catholic, but I have the mindset of Jewish, like always been, let's go. You can do it. It's who you know. Let's go. They really like all each
Help
other, the
each other.
Jewish
Yeah.
people, like the Italian or the Greek, they very like pack. Here, you don't have that. You don't fit. They always think you about you. What did she do to make money?
Uh,
Did she stole something? Let's do a research. They
yeah.
come up with stuff that you're like, I wish this was my life. They make up story. They don't know. That's why I don't give a lot of interview because it's too like, sometimes they cut it, they put it the way to make you. I like to be raw and real. So I don't have a lot of trust in people. And it's funny. I trust people in New York in business, but I don't trust people in Quebec in business.
The jet set is yeah, it's special here. It's
Don't you
different.
think?
It's
Do you-
different. I tend to agree. It's different.
It's like a clique here.
It is.
And if you don't fit in the clique,
You're not gonna fit.
but I'm never going to fit between
Yeah.
me and you.
Yeah.
I'm never going to fit. First of all, I'm done with talking about business. I
Yeah.
want to, we had this conversation and last time we saw each other that I really appreciate the backstage and everywhere. We talk so much. I think we learn about each other so much. And it's where you thought, okay, I didn't think of her like that. Because I'm always like, I don't
You
want
don't have nothing to prove. Yeah. Yeah.
they show up like it's a click was great for them if it works. But what happens if one fall? They all gonna fall
Mhm.
because they all enter associate.
Yeah.
And nobody talks. It's like, what is this, mafia? And they all talk about the same thing, the business. Right now in Quebec, I think a lot is about these networking events at night. And, I used to like it. And I thought for the last year, I did a lot. I attend a lot of them. And after a year, I'm like, I'm bored. They all talk about the same thing. They're all the same people. And they all do, like, how many times can we all go on the same stage? Like, you have to take day off and do some certain things, rush after your meeting at night to go attend that. But it's nothing coming out of it.
No, I agree. I agree.
Do you go see
In the
things?
Quebec community, it's well, one thing though that I realized there is other groups of CEOs and all that, but they're often inspired by American models, and it attracts very different people too. But you're right, the Quebec Inc. The Jet Set Quebec Inc. has the tendency to be a bit like you mentioned, a little bit too close together. Yeah.
Don't you think? I don't know about the English side in Quebec. I don't. This is the
Much
same.
similar to what you can find. And I think peer groups are very important, but you have to be surrounded with people who genuinely wants to help you. Yeah. And you know how important that is. You had your partner in New York. You had great support later in your life. Mia, I want to touch base upon one thing you mentioned that sticks in my mind now about beauty, that you realize over time that it's as important to work. You can have as much Botox or injection as you want. You also got to do that work internally. Um, what would be an advice to a woman watching this today and who really is going in that pattern? What would you suggest her to do?
Stop to be in fear of what other woman or man will think about you. Stop that little voice. Say, "Oh my God, are they going to judge me?" And just be you. And it's hard to be you because you reveal through you. You know, I'm the one, and I talk a lot about other people. And we had this conversation. Like, I wish I can help women, or they can help me too with little tricks. Remember the tricks that I told you? Like, women are very competitive. They are dangerous. We are crazy. We can destroy you in 5 seconds. And we are so crazy that sometimes we're eating with a partner at a restaurant. The guy didn't even see the beautiful girl walk in. And we're the one who's going to say, where is she going? Wait, did you see her? Like, we're so in fear of losing her partner or say something before he sees it that we will bread it up. Did you never experience that? Say, did you see her? Oh my God, she has fake lips. Oh my God, she looks so fake. We teach. I learned. I used to be like that. Not. I'm still like that sometimes when they look at me badly first, and then I go and I'm like, smiles. Okay, what is she looking at? Yeah, okay, it's all fake. All I pay for it. Smart. It's okay. But I always say, I wish the women were helping each other. I have so many tricks being around the world to sometimes you don't have to have the money, but just the way you present yourself and open your mind and stop to being insecure. And if you see a beautiful woman, say it. Say to your husband, did you see how beautiful she is? At the beginning of my marriage, my husband used to say, is this a trick? That, I, that I'm
The
supposed
trouble's coming.
like that I'm supposed to answer to this question? That teach me that the person who was before me probably scared the hell out of him
Yeah.
and was not allowed to do. Now, 10 years later, you will say, look, she's beautiful. I say, yeah, she is. And because I know that you can redo everything these days.
Yeah.
You can have a facelift with only 5 little holes inside of your ears in Turkey without sewing, without swelling. I mean, come on. We're there now. So it doesn't mean that you're beautiful physically. There are you beautiful mentally. You can be very, very bad also
Yes.
because
Yeah.
sometime when I even me when I'm not at a good place in my mind, and then sometime when I feel like I'm in a comfortable room, instead of appreciating that I'm in the uncomfortable and why I'm uncomfortable, it's probably because I am in the right room. You know, when you're in the right room, you're always uncomfortable. You don't know why, but you're so uncomfortable. It's because you're about to learn and step it up. When I walk in and I'm too comfortable, I'm not coming back. I have no
And
interest.
this is something that is so relatable to business as well.
But only to men.
Okay.
Only to
Okay.
men.
Okay.
Every time I say that to women, they take a minute and they're like, hmm. I always say, if you're comfortable in the room you walk in and you're on the show without talking, you're in the wrong room. You're not there to elevate. Why are you staying there? For your ego?
Uh,
You know, women always have a lot of 2, 3 girlfriends. Huh? They try to bring in one and then they talk about her or whatever. I don't have a lot of girlfriends for that reason
uh,
because I don't trust. I have a lot of men friends. I still don't trust them because, men always have a second thought. But I mean, sometimes I will disturb men in business. In New York, I used to disturb a lot of men in business because New York is a lot of men, very powerful people,
yeah.
and they will become uncomfortable because they had another ID behind their mind. And you have a jet doesn't impress me. Nothing impressed me. I saw it all. So, I mean, I like real people, but when you walk in business, you have to own the room. But then you know that you didn't accomplish anything. Don't you feel like that when you walk somewhere?
I think you bring a point that is very important nowadays. People really starts to appreciate it more and more as you don't have to be being vulnerable doesn't mean you're weak. And you have the right to be vulnerable and honest about something. And it will most likely turn out into your advantage. Because if someone don't appreciate that, you better walk away from that deal, right?
Absolutely.
So,
And I learned to say also that when you're weak, it's the biggest strength you have,
yeah.
because you have to learn to let your guard down and show that you need help.
Yeah.
If you cannot reach for help and you think you're untouchable,
You will break
you will
eventually.
break. And when
Yeah.
you break, they will take advantage of everything you got.
Yeah.
The bank will not come and ask you, so I'm sorry, you're late for the payment. They're just gonna block you and sell you. You know what I mean? It's you I think you have to really at one point sit down and say, okay, what do I want, where I'm at, and what I'm worth. Can I go over my limit and not be scared? Being scared, it's a good thing. You have to have fear to
Yeah.
grow. If you're not in fear, again, you're at the wrong place. If it's too easy, get out. Get out. Like now, a lot of things is happening in my life that I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to hurt people. Is it a good thing? But sometimes you have to hurt people the closest to be able to move on. And it doesn't mean by bashing people or talking
No.
back, but sometimes just by being silenced and dissociate yourself from things that you used to elevate to, you become very strong, and they become in fear. Did you never notice when you go to the bank to ask? We all did that. I mean, we all went to the bank to ask for a
Yeah.
loan if you're in business or whatever. And we're like, okay, I'm going to put my good suit and whew, I'm hot. And then even if you know the person for 20 years, you've been doing business with the banker for 20 years, he took you for a lot. And when you sign and say yes, and the money is in the bank or transfer, all of a sudden, you see the guy when you go to the bank, you go, hey, hi. Because now you have the power. It's really powerful. Business can make you or break you. You have to be careful and who you choose to be in your life, because it doesn't mean your partner will agree with everything you do.
And that's okay. And
I
that's
know
okay.
you have a very
Yeah.
you but do you stay in or you stay out? That's another, all
Yeah.
my life it was a really big decision. Well, is it gonna be okay? And the day I learned not to be scared of my partner or my friends, I say and I do what I want. You don't like it? I'm sorry. We got to move on.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Mia, one last question. These days, after all that, you've been through all these roller coaster, personally, from a business standpoint,
It's funny
as a
you see
human
roller
being.
coaster. I don't find it roller coaster.
You enjoy the ride, but there's highs, there are lows, right?
Yeah.
What keeps you up at night still nowadays?
Absolutely nothing.
I love that.
Absolutely nothing. I think that lately, a big part that I didn't talk here, but if you see my conference or stuff was coming out soon, um, everything I want, I go and get it. Like right now, I'm the first woman to become the Harley Davidson Canada spokesperson. And I'm the first person who will have my own ride with my conference on the 28th of June this year.
That's awesome.
So they asked me to ride my Harley Davidson. Well, 2 years ago, I didn't have a Harley Davidson. I didn't even know how to drive a bike. So I said, oh, okay, I'm going to do it. I thought maybe two people is going to be there. No, the ride is sold out. And I'm like, where are we going? They say Emmenford. I'm like, where is that? Don't worry, we will tell you in New Year's. So it's going to be beautiful because I don't know if I'm excited about the ride, like you see in the movie,
Yeah.
all the people who follow each other, or when I get there, I have to jump on stage and deliver a conference for 90 minutes. So these days for me, that is what I'm like, oh my God, is it just the ride is big enough? But now you want me to deliver a conference? And I'm like, what are they going to think about me? Because, people who ride motorcycle are tough guys. the little me coming and telling my story. But we all have a journey. We all have a story. That's why it's called Le Voyage. So that you're on the boat, on a Harley Davidson, on the plane, or walking, or just in your head is a voyage. So that's why they came and they want a woman to represent this year. And I'm very like, wow. I have a big project in New York too, and in the States, going back in the States with a big company who's coming out in 2027. And I'm about to write a book.
That's awesome.
That was a very big decision. That kept me like a couple of days awake because I wasn't sure if I want to go there, because it's not just 90 minutes of you playing with your story on a stage. It's a book. So you have to open up and say everything.
Talk about vulnerability. Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to be open to it, but I think I'm ready. It's
That's
actually
wonderful.
starting today.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Looking forward to read that. Mia, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, if people want to catch you up, what are the best social media platform people can follow you?
Instagram. I'm a really Instagram girl because
Okay.
I'm older. On Mia Girard Bernard. It's my personal page. And, don't ever be shy to come and say, hi, how are you? I just say something. I like to hear because that's how I'm going to grow. If I think I'm all this and that, if somebody gives me feedback, I want feedback, but negative one. And be open to receive negative. It hurts, but it's so good to have negative conversation. Not with yourself, with somebody else. Debate. Why do you feel like that? And open your mind to change and explore the world. Explore your own world. And if it doesn't fit, change your room.
I love that. Mia, thank you so much. I would also invite people to go check Behind the Social Label. If you have time and it's 1 p.m. in June, July, go on kvl.fm and check Mia speaking also. So thank you so much once again for making a bit of a time for me. And I look forward to see you.
I have all the time in the world. Anytime you need anything, out or in the air, whatever you need, I'm here to listen.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Mia. Thank you so much for being part of the Up at Night family. If you've liked what you heard today, don't forget to rate, follow, subscribe, or leave me a comment below. New episodes of Up at Night drop every 2 weeks. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a single episode. I'm Jeremiah Curvers. Until next time.